So the last time I went to the thrift store, I stumbled across this fabric that felt very familiar, and then I realized I've seen someone on TikTok make a Milkmaid shirt with this exact same fabric. Now it's the different color, it's the green version, mine's the blue version, but they said theirs was a curtain and mine was like a curtain topper, so I mean, it's the same thing, which is really great. So shout out to Hot Figgity. We're gonna be doing this design so we can be twins with her. So after having this epiphany in the middle of the thrift store, I realized I would need a lining fabric, so I picked up this bed sheet. So I went to the thrift store and we found this. It's so long, oh my god.
That's what she said.
First, you can see this is like where you would put the curtains through. And I saw someone pretty much use this exact same fabric and they said it was a curtain too, which means it's probably the exact same. And they made this, and this is exactly what I'm gonna be making. Okay, so now we have to make the pattern. So step one, go on YouTube, watch a video on how to make bodice blocks. Okay, you've done that? Okay, great. Now you're gonna just like alter that a little bit, you know, kind of look at what I'm doing, look at the reference material, you know, pin that shit on Pinterest. I trust that you can figure this part out, and if you can't figure it out, you're probably not gonna make this anyway, so who cares? And then I just made like a little test side, half side, and it seemed pretty good. Just, it's 100% cotton. I love that. I just wanted to show that off. And I'm just unpicking any stitching because I need all the fabric I can get out of this. And I'm just going to be pressing the fabric to get it nice and smooth. I just realized at this point that making an outfit out of curtains, familiar. The movie overall was a really bad influence on me because one, I'm sewing things out of curtains now, and two, I kind of sing everywhere I go in public. So, don't recommend showing that to your kids. Well, what movie is it? Let me give you a hint. Yeah, there you go. She sews curtain things for the kids and sings everywhere.
How do you cut an orange? What is happening?
Christian,
what is happening?
it's giving Kendall Jenner.
It
The way
is.
you cut this orange. What? Okay, don't mind the coffee maker, but Christian wanted redemption.
There we go.
That looks
Oh
pretty
my goodness.
good.
I don't know what happened. I think she took over my body.
Kendall?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, time to cut out the nice fabric. Apparently I didn't film cutting the lining and doing the lining, but I did that first and made sure that it fit and worked. So now we're cutting the good fabric and using our pattern pieces that we made ourselves. Go team. And now I'm showing you how you assemble them, but if you made the pattern yourself, obviously you should know like which ones go together. I don't know. And then you gotta sew them. Now I find the most effective strategy for sewing is to just use one hand and film with the other hand and just hope for the best. But it worked out for me, so see? Look at it, it worked. Also, hot tip, trim your shit as you go and just thank me later. Once again, sewing with one hand, and of course use the non-dominant hand for best results. Look at this dude. He needs to be repotted immediately. Oh my god, so big now. Alright, so the lining, I don't know if I filmed myself doing this enough.
No, you didn't.
But the lining has been sewed, so this is gonna go on the inside, and I don't know if the original creator showed doing a lining, but I definitely wanted one, and I found this at the thrift store as well, and this was literally like someone's like bed sheet, like for, I don't know, like $4, like something, but it was on sale too. I got 30% off, so it was really cheap. Oh, my dishwasher's so loud. Okay, whatever. It's so annoying, but it really matches really well. It looks really nice with the colors in this, and this freaking curtain is the exact same as the reference that we're trying to go for, which is so great. So I've sewed most of the pieces together that go around the whole body, as you can see, and then the front is going to stay open because that's going to be where the clasps are, so you can get into it. So we're going to do that after. And I love working with like cotton and like linen because it presses so easily. So as you can see, I've pressed all the seams, they look great. I pinned the cups and I've put in lots and lots and lots of little pins here. And this you want to really take your time with and go really slow. So I practiced with the lining. I suggest like start with your lining and kind of try it out. Once that's sewed, well, bam! I can't believe I self-drafted this. It's actually, I've tried it on and it's fitting really, really nicely. And then after doing the cups, I'm gonna have to kind of figure out what I want to do for the sleeves. I've never really done sleeves in this style before, so I'm just gonna wing it. I'm gonna make sure it fits around my arm, and I think there's a lot of forgiveness using the elastic, so that's great. I also, another thing that I did that I recommend you guys use a little more forethought than I did, and I did like a 1/4 inch seam allowance everywhere because I just figured that would work well for me, but I also did a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the top here of the bust cups. And so that means that that's gonna limit the elastic size that I'm gonna be able to use. So no problems there though. I have this elastic, and what I've done is I've just cut it in half. And I think that's gonna work really well, and honestly, maybe it'll be a little bit more like dainty and it won't be so like digging in. I don't know, maybe it'll be more comfortable. So yeah, that's where we're at. So let's get going on very slowly sewing in the bust cups.
Actually, I lied. I did none of that this day, and I went and got croissants with my friend instead, and more thrifting. Well, I guess more like consignment. Look at how bullshit this is. Like, well, it's not bullshit, but it's like expensive. $50. And oh my god, this lamp is so pretty. Okay. Okay, guys, it's time. We talked about this, okay? And it goes. Don't push hard on that presser foot. I know you want to. I know it's tempting. Just go slow for this part. Just trust me. I just found this on the ground. There's always needles around, so. And yeah, you extra want to be going slow because, you know, your thread can break like mine did right here, and that's because this area is really thick, and if I went any faster, the needle probably would have broke too, so just keep that in mind because I think I've broken too many needles at this point. And yeah, this is pretty straightforward. I'm just following my pattern and doing that 1/4 inch seam allowance everywhere, and just going really slow and being careful, and yeah. Okay, so now time to tackle the sleeves. So we're gonna make a little swoopy shape like this, like look at my finger, bam. And then that'll be 2 sleeves. So to make it even, we're gonna bap, bap, fold it in half, cut that shape, bloop, like that. And then it should be like symmetrical. Okay, and then that looks good enough to me. Also keep in mind I pinned it just so that my pieces would like be straight and not wiggle around. And also, I left this end because this was already hemmed, because this was a curtain before. So then that just saves me about 2 minutes worth of work, which is nice. Also FYI, for the sleeve shape, you're gonna need your lining in that as well. So now we're gonna do that too. Don't do what I just did. Now, you may be wondering what I did. I just was not cutting this on the fold, and it needs to be on the fold because I had it folded. I think that makes sense. Okay, now, pinning the lining. I guess I didn't pin it here, but you should pin it, and then sewing the lining to the nice fabric, right sides together. Pretty simple, pretty basic. It's like what we do every time. I'm just sewing in that channel next to add our elastic to, and I'm threading this little safety pin onto the elastic so that we can thread the elastic through. And we're gonna do this like everywhere that needs elastic, basically. Sorry if this tutorial stopped being funny. I'm kind of running out of funny juice, but yeah, stitch that part down so that the elastic doesn't move anywhere. And yeah, make sure you iron everything down when you're working, you know, just keep remembering that because it's gonna turn out poo-poo if you don't do this. Next, I'm finally sewing the lining of the nice pretty top fabric with the lining fabric, and this part's really fun and exciting because everything's starting to come together now. And yeah, you just want to go really slow, make sure all your seams line up because that would be bad if they're not lining up. If your seams aren't lining up, you did something wrong. Go back a step and and work on that, I guess. Man, the order I'm doing this in is wild. I started with the one sleeve and then I did the rest of the top, and now I'm doing the other sleeve apparently. And then in the front area, I'm sewing a channel for boning and just kind of filing the boning down to make it smooth so it doesn't rip through the fabric. I don't know if I recommend boning for the front, honestly. I don't think it did anything good or useful, so I just, like, maybe just skip that step. The sewing machine sounds so creepy sped up, like listen to this. Okay, enough of that. So now I'm just sewing down the hem and making sure that I'm also taking in the lining while I'm doing that so that they're both, you know, secured. And last but not least, sewing on the clasps and also sewing on the sleeves by hand because it was too thick to get through my machine. So I'm getting ready to take pictures of the corset today that I made last video. I can't find it! I don't live in this is a tiny cabin. What? And I can't even find the other I don't understand. I'm looking through all my clothes. I thought I hung it up. I wore it to Kelowna. Is it in my car still? Let's check. I really hope it's in here. Nothing.
Close the trunk!
Well, I can't find it. I have 15 minutes to find it before I have to leave. So I'm gonna start cleaning and hope for the best, but I'm really freaking confused. Okay guys, I found it, thank goodness. Like, how do you lose a corset? But it was on the same hanger as another thing, which I do often to try to save space, so silly me, we found it, let's put it on. Okay, anyway, you're not here for last week's video, you're here for this top. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this turned out, and I think it's very similar to the inspiration. So shout out to Hot Figgity, make sure you go check out their TikTok. I don't know if they have a YouTube, but you know, go stalk them and try to find out for me.